Alright, so I got a comment on one of my build videos for this guitar. Somebody was saying that they wish they had enough money that they could build their own guitar, and that kind of got me thinking, well, how much did I spend building this? Because I hadn't really been paying too closely attention to tabulating that up. But so I will go through all the components and what they cost, and also go through sort of alternatives, because I didn't necessarily buy all of maybe the cheapest components. I had a bunch of credit for reverb.com, which I'd gotten from referring people, so I maybe spent some more money on certain things because I was just trying to use those reverb bucks. So yeah, starting off, we've got this neck, $50, and so I bought like this just paddle headstock neck from China, and that's because I had my own design that I wanted here, and that was important to me. But if you didn't care so much about that, if you were satisfied with like a Fender style headstock, you can get those for as cheap as like $36 from China. But you know, the neck is the most important part of the instrument, and this neck is totally rubbish. So I'm ending up spending. I bought a new set of frets so that I can refret this, so I can take the frets off, try to plane this or sand it totally straight and flat, and then put new frets on. So yeah, it's another $14 I'm spending because I got such a cheap neck. Let's see, the nut came with a plastic nut. I managed to actually break that while I was putting strings on. But yeah, this is a Tusk XL nut, which was important to me because I use the vibrato a lot. It's actually loose right now, which is a pain in the ass because you have to take the strings off to tighten it. So that's why this is hanging here. But yeah, so this helped a lot. Before I swapped the nut out and put the Tusk nut, I was getting the pings like ding ding, and then while using the vibrato, and then the string would bind and wouldn't slide back to position. So now it's perfect. That aspect is great. So you don't need to buy a new nut, but yeah, I did. Let's see, tuning machines. Yeah, I was kind of rushed on. I spent like $42. These are Goto. I don't know if Goto makes different kinds or whatever, but this one has good reviews, and it's a nice. These are nice. No, they're not the most expensive you can buy. They're not locking. I don't know what the point of locking tuners are. Like, the strings don't slip through the hole, so I don't really get the point of those. But those are more expensive if you want to spend more money. But cheaper tuning machines, you can get like Wilkinson tuning machines for like $30, like less than $30. So if you wanted to, save a little bit of money, I went for these just because. I don't know. I think these are maybe a little smoother, maybe not. I don't know. But I decided to spend a little bit more money on the tuning machines just because 13 gauge strings. I didn't know what kind of pressure I'd be putting on them. I just decided to go for a little better quality. All right, so neck plate. It's dirt cheap. I got. What did I do? I got 3 of these for $12, so they're like $4 each. And you can get them for a similar price. I guess maybe $6 ordering it from China on eBay, and that's with shipping. So if you only wanted one, but I'm going to be building at least 3 guitars, so I'm amortizing that cost across each one. Let's see, vibrato. I'm actually going to take this one off, this vibrato and this bridge off this guitar, and put it on one of my other things that I'm going to build. So I'm not including the price of this. Instead, I'm including the more expensive bridge and vibrato that I am going to be putting on this guitar, which is it's called a Mose-like, and it's designed to look like a Mose-right vibrato and bridge. And so that cost me, with shipping, it was $92. But you can get like this, like a Chigsby, a Chinese Bigsby, and like a Tunematic roller knockoff for $21 for a vibrato, $10 for a bridge. So that's just over $30 for that part. Let's see. Next is the tug bar. That's totally unnecessary, but I did spend $14 on that because I wanted a chrome one to match all the chrome on this. But yeah, you don't need that to build a guitar. Pick guard. I haven't put the pick guard on yet. It was they're at different prices. You can see sometimes it's a big sheet. It's enough for 2 pick guards. The one I got, the color I wanted, it was $18. But yeah, I'll divide that by 2, so $9 for the half that'll go on this guitar. But you can find them for like $14, and again, it's still big enough for 2, so that would be like $7 for the pickguard. It's just a blank material that you cut out to your own shape. Let's see, pickups. So these are Fender Vintera 50s pickups, and I don't know. They cost me like $94 plus, let's say, like 10 shipping. So that's like $104. But you can get Strat pickups made by Chinese company Squier, and they have a great reputation. And for all 3 of them, it'll cost you $34. So you can save that, and by all accounts, they sound great. I actually got a set of those, and I will be testing. I'll be doing an A/B test. But I actually got those because I'm going to modify them. I have a plan that I discussed in a previous video. But so probably in the end, I will take these out and just sell them, or use them in a different guitar, and then put those modified Squier pickups in this. But yeah, for now, let's use the Vintera Fender price for my tally on this guitar. Next up, wire. Well, let's jump over to the Jaguar control plates. It was just part of my vision for this guitar that it would have all this chrome. And so yeah, that was a little, I didn't know the best place to buy these. I found just a shop on Reverb that's located in the Netherlands that sells these with the pots and the switches, but you have to add your own capacitors and wire and all that. But yeah, so that was let's see, $75 plus like 20-ish shipping. So yeah, $95. And then while I was ordering from them, I also ordered wire, which was maybe unnecessarily expensive. It was $12, like vintage style, like wire, like you can just use any speaker wire. It's fine. It's not going to make a difference. People who talk about how the wiring matters are just full of shit. So you could buy like 24 feet of speaker wire for like $8, and that'll last you the rest of your life. If you, but yeah, I would say the wire I bought for this, it'll last at least for 3 or 4 guitars. So let's just say $3 worth of wire, which is way too much. Normally you'd be spending like $1 of wire in a guitar. I don't know. I mean, I'm pulling that out of thin air, but it's not. You're not going to be spending a lot of money on wire. Let's see. So capacitors and resistors, I bought just like a giant pack of variety pack, so maybe $20 for those packs, but that'll last me for like 300 guitars. So the amount that went into this guitar, it's like 10 cents. And okay, so yeah, if you wanted to build a guitar, but you didn't want to, because these were pretty expensive. Proportionally, is like way too expensive. It's like $100 just for adding a little bit of chrome. But if you could settle for just like a jazz bass style one here, then you would that would just run you $14 loaded with the pots. And then I guess you would need like a 5-way switch or some other kind of switch thing, like maybe a strat switch. I forget what those cost. I didn't look that up, but I mean, let's just say it costs $10 or $15. So yeah, you could, if you were happy with if you could settle for not having these chrome plates, which were kind of just totally unnecessary. Yeah, you totally could spend a lot less money for switch and knobs and stuff. I mean, yeah, so you'd have to, yeah, so it's loaded, so it can include the knobs and everything. Alright, so next is strap buttons. Yeah, it cost me like $1. So it cost you, because I bought a pack of them for them to use across lots of different guitars, but yeah, you could even just get for just over $1, just order 2 of them, maybe $1.30 or $1.50 or something. So my tally is I spent just about $450 on this guitar, which is kind of a lot, especially if you consider that you can get a Squier, you can get a B-stock Squier Jaguar for $330 right now on Thomann, the Thomann website, and then you'd have to pay shipping, which is like another $33. So that's for $366. You could get a Jaguar, a Squier Jaguar, and then you could take the body off, make your own body, put all that hardware, all those pickups, all the hardware, all the plates back on the new body. You could sell your other body. I saw people are selling just the Squier bodies for like $90, and so if you did that, you would be only like $290 in the hole for your own sort of custom. If you did that. Oh yeah, so my body, I didn't spend any money on. I just found the boards. So yeah, that didn't cost me anything, and that I'm assuming everybody can find some wood. I mean, it doesn't have to be. You don't need a tone wood. Like, it doesn't matter. So yeah, let's see. So on the so I had like I mentioned, the Reverb Buck credits. So that subtracts $330 from my personal cost, which so I actually spent $120 on this guitar, just about. So that's not so bad for such a killer guitar. But yeah, $450 without having the referral credits. For the cheaper option that I kind of tallied up just earlier, I tallied around $170. So if you went with like just the cheaper versions, cheaper tuning machines, went with a jazz bass plate, and then and a switch, yeah, so maybe 180. I think 180, 190. Forgot to include the switch. So yeah, you can make cheaper pickups. You can make your own guitar for under $200 in components, I think. And then there's tools. So I needed a hand plane to just plane the top and also to plane the sides to be able to glue the boards together and make it flat. Then I needed I used a razor saw. I cut the outline with a razor saw. I mean, I guess I didn't need that, but it was a nice process to use the razor saw to do that, I guess. I mean, you could just use a palm router, or if you have a jigsaw, you could use a jigsaw and then follow it up with the palm router. So yeah, palm router actually came in handy. I also used it to round over the corners, and then after I did that, I made them even more rounded over and curved just by hand. So technically I didn't need the router for that, but I did use the router for the neck pocket, which I think you'd have a lot of difficulty getting an even flat neck pocket without using a router, but you could do it. You could definitely do it. It would just take a lot more time, a lot more effort. Okay, what else? I used a drill a bunch, just for screwing things in. You could do that by hand, but you need it. No, you need to drill out the holes, I guess. So yeah, you do need a drill. I used a coping saw to cut some of these curves. Yeah, that sucked. That totally sucked using the coping saw to do that. You could figure out. I could have just done enough slices with the razor saw until it was good enough, and then cleaned it up with the router. Let's see, soldering iron and solder. For working on the neck, a notch straight edge and a fret rocker were very useful. I got like a torch cleaning kit to file the fret slots, and I don't recommend doing that, but I don't know what you should do instead, because like an actual set of files costs, I think, hundreds of dollars, whereas the torch tip cleaner that is mildly abrasive and comes in all the different gauges, I don't remember, it costs like $10 or $15, I don't remember, but it's really slow. It doesn't feel like it works. So yeah, and then you need glue. You don't need a lot of glue. You need sandpaper, but you don't need a lot of sandpaper, but you do need sandpaper. So yeah, I don't have the price of those tools tallied up for this video, but I'll put links in the description so you can see the exact tools I used, and then I can maybe propose some cheaper alternatives as well, because yeah, I had these tools because I used them for other things. So some of the stuff I got maybe nicer tools than you necessarily need for this project, because I was planning on using them a lot. So yeah, that's the cost. I don't think it's that expensive. Like either of those numbers, like $180, that's not a lot of money to build your own guitar, and I think you'd do it, even if you had to spend like another $30 just buying like Home Depot construction lumber to glue together a body. Like that's not a lot of money. I think anybody can do this. Let's see, my cost $450. I mean, it is kind of depressing that building my own guitar costs more than buying a Squier Jaguar costs. But I think some of my components are better. The neck is worse, but I think a lot of the other components are better. So, especially when I've swapped this guy off for the other vibrato. So I'm not beating myself up for it, but yeah, it is a bit strange that it works out that way. But that's how it is. All right, so yeah, I'll check out the description. I'll put links for the tools. I'll put links for the components, and yeah, so you can check out how expensive it would be.